Bijan Robinson can and should be the next star running back for the Dallas Cowboys.
You are Locked On Longhorns, your daily podcast on the Texas Longhorns. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Longhorns, the show. Jonathan Davis, your host. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/Locked On today to get started. Bijan Robinson can and should be the next star running back for the Dallas Cowboys for two reasons. Because Jerry Jones wants it to happen, and after some long deliberation and research, the Dallas Cowboys need it to happen. So that's what we'll be discussing today on Locked On Longhorns / Locked On Cowboys today. As a Cowboys fan, I get to talk about nothing but Bijan and the Dallas Cowboys. This might be my favorite episode. Once again, Bijan Robinson can and should be the next star running back for the Dallas Cowboys because Jerry Jones wants it to happen, which we'll talk about now. And in the next segment, because the Cowboys need it to happen. Jerry Jones, the storied owner of the Dallas Cowboys, he may not be the best football mind. A lot of Cowboys fans think he has no idea what he's doing. A lot of Cowboys fans think he's holding the team back. A lot of Cowboys fans think that the Cowboys might not win another Super Bowl until you can fill in the blank. I won't say it on this podcast. And Jerry Jones may not be the best owner. How many owners do we see meddling in team business, acting like they're the GM, having weekly radio appearances, undercutting the head coach? Sandy wants a quarterback controversy between Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush, right? We know Jerry might not be the best owner. He may not be the best football mind. But Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys, is undoubtedly one of the best businessmen in the world. And drafting Bijan Robinson would be a hell of a football decision, but it'd also be a hell of a business decision. Jerry Jones owns the most valuable franchise in sports in the world, the Dallas Cowboys. And although they haven't won anything of note since 1995, non-Cowboys fans, y'all like to remind us all the time, haven't been to the NFC Championship game since 1995. We're living off of the 90s. It's been 27 years of just disappointment and it's been bleak, right? For almost 30 years, right? Y'all like to remind us of that all the time. And yet the Cowboys are still the most valuable franchise in sports. Jerry Jones didn't create the America's Team moniker. America's Team didn't come under Jerry Jones. It came in 1978. Jerry Jones bought the team in 1989. But somehow still in 2023, the Cowboys are America's team. Jerry Jones has a ton to do with it. And every year, even though y'all hate the Cowboys and y'all don't care about the Cowboys and the Cowboys get way too much attention, if you look at the 10 highest rated games in the NFL, I can guarantee you 6 or 7 of them are Cowboys games. When you look at the highest rated playoff games every year, they have the Dallas Cowboys in. Whether you hate them or you love them, you have to watch. And drafting Bijan Robinson just gives you another reason to watch. Not only is Bijan Robinson a superstar on the field, we saw that in his 3 years with the Texas Longhorns, capping it off, winning the Doak Walker Award as the best running back in college football. But he's probably the most marketable player in the 2023 NFL draft. I went back and forth between him and Bryce Young. Bryce Young is a quarterback, so quarterbacks, they tend to be a little bit more marketable. He already has the Heisman commercials, right? Bryce Young is marketable, but the Cowboys don't necessarily need a quarterback, right? It's not the dump on Dak Prescott episode. And I still think Bijan Robinson might be a little bit more marketable than Bryce Young. Because when we looked at the way that companies gravitated towards Bijan for NIL deals this year, not that they didn't for Bryce Young, but he had Kendra Scott. I'm not even going to be able to name all of them. Raising Cane's, Lamborghini, Bijan Mustardson. This man selling mustard all over the country. I don't even like Dijon mustard. I done spent over $50 on this man's mustard. Bijan Robinson can't do no wrong. Companies were chomping at the bit to get Bijan Robinson to be the face of their company. Because like I said, not only is he one of the best players on the field, but he can do no wrong. I'm not saying he's perfect, but has Bijan Robinson ever said anything that made you go, huh? Has he ever done anything that made you go, huh? Why'd he do that? Not that I can recall. And so what he was able to earn in NIL off the field will pale in comparison to what he can earn off the field in the NFL when companies, bigger companies, gravitate towards him. When he has that star on his helmet playing for the Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, drafting Bijan would be a hell of a football decision, but an even better business decision. A business decision that Bijan Robinson should want as well. From an off-the-field marketing standpoint, Bijan Robinson and the Dallas Cowboys are a match made in heaven. For Jerry Jones, you get the best player in the state of Texas from the flagship university in the state of Texas at a position of need, an offensive skill player who instantly probably becomes the most marketable player on your team. Forget sleep number. We're not worried about Dak right now, right? People's down on Dak. I don't think Dak phone blowing up to get some commercials right now. You could say Michael Parsons, but how many defensive ends are just killing it, with the commercials and the marketing, right? Bijan Robinson from day one with a star on his helmet would be the star of the team and would be the most marketable player on the team. Something that Jerry Jones just simply can't pass up. By drafting Bijan Robinson, you essentially draft the entire Texas Longhorns fan base. And I know the non-Cowboys fans listening to this are, oh, no, I'll never watch the Cowboys. I'll never root for the Cowboys. I'll never support the Cowboys. Nah. Listen, if Bijan Robinson gets drafted to the Cowboys, you'll be keeping up with Bijan Robinson, which means you'll be keeping up with the Cowboys, which means more money for Jerry Jones. Sam Elliott was named the starter for the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts were like 2 in 1,000, right? And the entire city of Austin was tuning into Indianapolis Colts game to see Sam Elliott throw 18 passes a game. You're going to watch the Cowboys. Jerry does splash, and Bijan Robinson is the splash pick in this year's draft. This is the same Jerry Jones that had to be talked out of drafting Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel. At the 26th overall pick, you're telling me if Jerry Jones has the option to take the third best receiver, which is a team need, or the third best corner, which is a team need, or the best running back out of the state of Texas in Bijan Robinson, he's not going to take Bijan Robinson? And not just for Jerry Jones. Think about how much this would benefit Bijan. You get to stay in the state of Texas, where you've made a name for yourself, going from one of the biggest brands in college football to the biggest brand in sports. You put that star on your helmet, you instantly become a star. And you follow a great tradition of running backs. And like I said, you become a star before you ever even touch the field. If Bijan Robinson is on the board at number 26, he will be the best player available. And this is an opportunity neither Bijan Robinson or Jerry Jones should pass up. Next, we're going to talk about why the Cowboys need this to happen on the field after a quick word from FanDuel. Hold on, let me pull it up, y'all. I thought I had it pulled up, so let me just talk to y'all real quick while I get this pulled up. Here we go. The NFL playoffs are here. We're really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On because they're the number one sports book in America, FanDuel. And if you're new to FanDuel, that's even better. They have so many great features that make betting on sports fun and easy. Join today to get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/locked-on. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props. Plus, you can even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same game parlay. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So football fans don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, at FanDuel.com/locked-on. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. So like I said, I'm a Cowboys fan, and we do currently have Ezekiel, Elliott, and Tony Pollard. I'll tell you in a minute why the Cowboys need Bijan Robinson. The Cowboys need Bijan Robinson. I did a lot of research for this topic, did a lot of deliberation. I kind of got caught up into the we don't need to draft a running back in the first round. We have bigger needs. You can find a running back anywhere. But it's Bijan Robinson, and he's special. And I talked myself into the Cowboys needing Bijan Robinson on the field next year. And the Cowboys running back situation in 2023 is far from ideal, with Zeke being expensive and washed and Tony Pollard coming off of a broken leg. But even if it was ideal, that hasn't stopped Jerry in the past from making that splash pick on a running back. So I went back, and did some research. I went all the way back to 1990, before I was even born. I was born in 1993. In his second draft, he drafted Emmitt Smith in the first round. Now, that was a need because he had traded Herschel Walker the year before, right? Set the Cowboys up for success. I have no problem with that. 2004, Julius Jones, he was a second-round pick, but he was the Cowboys' first draft pick. This was when I was 10 years old, so if I'm tripping right here, you can feel free to tell me. The year prior, Troy Hambrick played in all 16 games and went over 1,000 scrimmage yards. No disrespect to Troy Hambrick. If Troy Hambrick is trash, if Troy Hambrick is not on Julius Jones' level, if they had to move on from him, I see he went to the Arizona Cardinals the next year. Feel free to get in the comments, call me young, say I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Say I'm not on this podcast trying to cape for Troy Hambrick. All I'm saying is they had a capable running back before they spent their first pick on a running back in Julius Jones out of Notre Dame, right? If that's not like a solid point, if that's like a whatever, it gets a little more solid. Just stay with me. 2008, they draft Felix Jones in the first round. The year prior, Julius Jones and Marion Barber, rest his soul, combined for over 2,000 scrimmage yards. So you wouldn't say running back was a first-round need. In 2016, with Ezekiel Elliott, a star running back, we saw them carry Ohio State to a championship, something Jerry Jones couldn't pass up with him on the board. People said they should have took Jalen Ramsey. People said they could have waited to the second round and got Derrick Henry. He said, no, I want Ezekiel Elliott to have that star on his helmet. But the year before, Darren McFadden had 1,400 scrimmage yards. So was running back really a need with the 4th overall pick? No. But it was the splash pick, and Jerry made it because Jerry does splash. And like I said, Bijan Robinson is splash. And I just told you that you have an old, overpaid running back in Ezekiel Elliott. He's really not even old. I think he's like 27, 28. He's old in running back years, right? Like dog years. He's overpaid for the production he's giving you. He didn't even average 4 yards a carry this year, and I love Zeke. It's the only Cowboys jersey I have. You know what I'm saying? But we got to keep a spade a spade. I love Bijan Robinson probably a little bit more right now. And Tony Pollard, who had his breakout season, just broke his leg. And he won't even be healthy until after the draft. So the Cowboys and Jerry Jones can more than talk themselves into drafting Bijan Robinson. Because you can get out of Zeke's contract this year with only $11 million in dead cap over the next 4 years. So cutting Zeke Elliott right now can save you up to $42 million over the next 4 years. For someone that just came off averaging 3.8 yards a carry and essentially lost his job, I know Zeke talking about taking a pay cut. I don't think that's going to be the hardest decision in the world for the Cowboys. And like I said, Tony Pollard is coming off of a broken leg, his best season. But he has a broken leg, and he's a free agent. So franchise tag Tony Pollard, it would cost at least $10 million next year. To sign him, you're going to have to spend at least $8 to $12 million the next year. $8 to $12 million a year, to sign Tony Pollard to the Cowboys. If Bijan Robinson is drafted with the 26th overall pick, I looked at Jermaine Johnson's contract from the 2022 draft. He was drafted by the Jets with the 26th overall pick. The contract would come in around 4 years, $13 million with a 5th-year option. So you would be paying Tony Pollard at least $10 million next year. You would be paying Zeke at least $10 million next year. You would be paying Bijan Robinson $13 million over the next 4 years, an average of $3 million a year. And today, on January 26, 2023, Bijan Robinson is probably better than Zeke and Tony Pollard. And you can get him at 25 to 30% of the cost. Jerry Jones is the best businessman in the world. Why would you pass that up? And on the field, the moment y'all have all been waiting for, even though we've seen a million snaps of Bijan Robinson, he brings the best of what Zeke and Tony Pollard give you. At 220 pounds, might be even bigger by the time he takes the field. He has the frame to touch the ball 20 to 25 times a game like we saw Zeke do in his early years. He can run between the tackles, and he can run outside the tackles. And he has the physicality to excel in short yardage situations, which was Zeke's role this year. Bijan might not be as fast in straight line speed as Tony Pollard, but he has similar acceleration and burst. I know y'all just saw that video that's circulating on Twitter with him and Roshan, that video of Bijan. Man, he looks explosive, right? Like, jeez, I see why he be juking people in the phone booth. When you talk about the receiving game, he is just as proficient as Tony Pollard as a receiver and has home run ability as a running back and a wide receiver. That's something that we've been getting in Tony Pollard coming off of a broken leg. You don't know. That's something we haven't seen from Zeke since about 2018, right? Home run ability, really 2017. Bijan Robinson gives you that in the passing game and the running game. He has to work on his pass protection, but 90% of the running backs coming out of the draft do have to work on their pass protection. Bijan Robinson is a 3-down running back currently with his pass blocking skills. And his superpower, his superhuman ability is his ability to make people miss not only in the open field. Every running back can do that. But Bijan Robinson can make people miss in traffic. Bijan Robinson can make people miss in the hole. He has a generational ability to evade tacklers, an ability I've only seen from 2 other running backs in my lifetime, Reggie Bush and Saquon Barkley. Bijan Robinson is in that class. The Cowboys are in desperate need of explosive playmakers on offense. When you watch that game against the 49ers, the playoff game, when Tony Pollard went down, it seemed like CeeDee Lamb was the only one that can make a play. They need playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. But they also want to remain a run-first football team. This is the identity of the Dallas Cowboys right now. Run first, control the game, and let Dak Prescott make plays off of it. Bijan kills both of those birds with one stone. He gives you another explosive playmaker on offense, maybe your most explosive playmaker on offense, although I love what CeeDee Lamb did this year. And he gives you a running back that you can control the run game with. So once again, in conclusion, Bijan Robinson can and Bijan Robinson should be the next superstar running back for the Cowboys because Jerry Jones wants it to happen. And after further deliberation, the Cowboys desperately need it to happen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Locked On Longhorns /Cowboys. You're part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Jerry, Steven, Will McClay. Listen to your boy, man. Bijan Robinson at pick 26. Don't overthink it. Hook him. And peace.